Mike Rogers Show here with you, Mike Rogers, and today's guest is from London, England. He's the founder of the Raindance Film Festival, one of the world's top 10 film festivals, Mr. ElliotGrove. Hey, thank you, Elliot.
Thanks for putting up with me, and thank you, Mike, for laughing at my bad jokes.
They're not bad jokes. They might need a little bit brushing up. I got a good joke. I got a good joke for you then, if you want to hear a joke.
What's that?
So this guy and his wife, they go to the wife's school reunion party, like the 10-year reunion party.
Yeah.
And they're standing at the bar. You know, the husband and the wife are standing at the bar, just looking around. And at this table is a guy. He's totally drunk. I mean, he's just like laying over drunk. And the husband says to the wife, "Do you know that guy there?" And she says, Oh yeah, I know him. Actually, he was my high school boyfriend. And I broke up with him before we graduated. And I heard that he's just been drinking the whole time. And the husband says, "Wow, that's amazing. Someone can celebrate so many years." So Elliot, you mentioned something, and I just want to talk about this for a second, about testing like your title and doing things like this, testing your title, testing your log line or whatever on social media. How do you do that? I mean, I can't imagine going to Facebook and saying, "Hey, my new movie's called this. What do you think?"
Well, okay. How many Facebook followers do you have, Mike?
5,000.
5,000. That's good. All right. So you would say you could do an opinion poll. If you were to see a new movie tonight, you'd like to see this title, or that title. Put 2 or 3 up, and just do that. But if I could take you back to 1996, I know it's a favorite part of your life, Mike, and tell you something that happened to me in the run-up to that year's Raindance Film Festival. It would have been year 4. We were so tiny then. A guy called Roger Corman was our special guest.
I know the name.
He's produced 850 films. Very famous guy.
Yeah.
He started life as a research chemist, wrote screenplays in his spare time. At the age of 47, sold his first script, and with that money, bought a used film camera and started making films on the streets of LA. And after he made about 60 films, he was doing 7-8 films a year. He decided that being a producer was more interesting. But to make movies, Mike, as you know, you need piles of wood and big room. So he bought a disused lumber yard in Little Venice in LA and started producing other people's films. Anyway, the film that we had as his tribute film at Raindance that year was something called The Trip, a film that he wrote, directed, and produced, and it was Jack Nicholson's first movie, for example. All these people started through him. So he was 74 or 76 the year he was with me, and he was bitterly complaining that he had only produced 38 films that year. And the week he was with me, he was shooting a film in Cairo, 1 in Dublin, and 2 in LA. A legend. Anyway, here's the story. Here's why I'm telling you the story. He's a morning guy. He would come into my office with that day's British tabloids, you know, the big papers, the Times and so on. And over coffee at 8 a.m., I would see him tearing out keywords from the newspaper. He would mash them up on the table, and when he saw what looked like a good title of a movie, he would handwrite it out. I would then fax it off to Los Angeles. He'd wander back at 6 o'clock at night. LA was open, and coming through that thin paper fax, a very mono, black and white, very low res poster. Title, tagline, image. And if he liked it, he would tear it off, put it in his pocket. That night, circulating amongst the distributors, financiers, talent agents in London, he would show them the poster. And if enough people liked it, the next morning he would tell me that upon his return to Los Angeles in a fortnight, he would hire a screenwriter to write the movie the poster suggested because he knew he could sell it. And this is how he came up with some of his iconic movies in the mid-70s, like The Fast and the Furious, my mind just got the Death Race, and so on. All movies that he invented the titles and did it reverse engineering. So my advice to screenwriters here when I teach screenwriting in London is do the poster. That's week one. Do the poster. Get the title, get the tagline, do the poster. Because it's a lot less work than writing a 100-page script that nobody likes.
I've written several of those kinds of scripts, Elliot.
I'm sure you have.
So that's a genius idea.
It's so simple, isn't it? And so few people do it, Mike. So few people do it.
Wow. Okay, so can you tell us, let's say I'm a filmmaker, Raindance accepts my film, I go to London, I do that. How do I get people into the theater to see my movie? Because actually when I went there, and I was scheduled at the View Theater, and actually that really scared me because I had been to one other movie and there was probably 5 people inside a 200-seat theater. Yeah. And I worried that my wife would kill me if you called her up. How was your screening, honey? Oh, it was great. There were 5 people there and spent all this money and all this time. What do I got to do to get people into the theater excited about my movie? Because, excitement builds on excitement, right? So nothing more exciting than a full theater full of people.
Every single seat taken. Well, this is where the relationship between a festival and a filmmaker is often misunderstood, except with a filmmaker as yourself. You see, the festival's job is to deliver to you, the filmmaker, an audience of people to appreciate the film. The filmmaker's job is to deliver a film worthy of an audience or attractive to an audience, but together we need to build the audience. So before you go to the city that you're screening in, you need on your social media, again, your branding, you need to let people know that this film is about to become a movie at this festival. And then you work with the festival trying to find out what their PR team is like and so on. And then as you did, Mike, so successfully in London, you did a street marketing campaign where you dressed as one of the characters in the film. You handed out leaflets. The festival can do things like 2-for-1 tickets, anything like that, because we want enough people there to see the film, and not friends and relatives. We want total strangers attracted by, again, the title, the poster, and then if they like the film, then what they do is that they'll start talking about it, and when people start talking about it, that's when it becomes a movie.
Ah, I see. One of the things for me, actually, I thought, I did Sandwich Sign Man, as you know, and the important thing I thought was people will want to take their picture with me. So
yeah, well, that's good.
And then they post it to their Facebook, and that seemed to me that that was at that time was the only option I had.
Well, that was a good strategy, and also fit your movie. We had someone else the year before you, Mike, who had placards like a strike,
Yeah.
Don't see this movie. If you see this movie, I will never speak to you again. Please do not see this movie. And of course, it sold out using reverse marketing.
Right.
It depends on the type of film. And the thing that is interesting too, from any potential distributor, when they see your marketing campaign, they will learn from you, and they may duplicate some of those techniques later.
Ah, I see. So, do you have any other examples of people doing something unusual?
I do, but not from Raindance. The Blair Witch Project, which was an unknown film at the time, so it was screening in the first Friday of that year's Sundance Midnight Matinee slot, which is at midnight. So when the filmmakers got to Park City, Sun City, they bought all of the tickets. It's a 1,500-seat cinema. They bought all the tickets. So, and the week of that was on the Friday night. On the Tuesday, Time or Newsweek came out with the front cover, the Blair Witch Project. They pulled off a mega, and they got the front cover of Time. It's huge. So imagine if you're a distribution executive, and now you need to get a ticket to the Blair Witch Project. Oh, my sorry, it's sold out. Well, Eduardo and Daniel were at the Filmmakers Lounge just down from the cinema.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they've got all the tickets. Could I have a ticket, please? Sorry, it's sold out. I'll see what I can do. Come back in 2 hours. They come back in I found you a ticket. Could you have one for my boyfriend, for my girlfriend? I'll see me in 2 hours. Oh, I've got one for your boyfriend, one for your girlfriend. They slowly started distributing the tickets. Then, because if you've ever had a party when 50 people say they're coming, 20 people don't come.
Yeah.
You've got empty seats. So what they did is they got about 300 filmmakers attending that year's festival, gave them each $10 to buy donuts and coffee, and stand in line in front of the cinema from 6 till midnight on the promise of a free ticket to the Blair Witch Project.
That's genius.
So the cinema at midnight opens, not a single empty seat. But that's not all they did. Now, this cinema did not have a center aisle, had a long aisle, but it just on the side. And what they did is they found out where the golden row is. Now, the golden row is, all cinemas have one, is when you sit down, your eyes are dead center on the screen.
Ah.
Yeah?
Mm.
So they put all the people interested in buying the film there, row 13 it was, in row 11, in row 9, in row 7. Right in front of the middle of this row, they put a scantily clad female who was cued to faint at 3 key points in the film. And because there was no central road, they had to be body surfed out to the aisle and out to the so-called hospital. And started the whole myth of, oh, I don't want to see Blair Witch because I don't want to faint. And that's...
I love that.
They pulled that off. It was so PR stunts, of course, are another thing you can use, but you have to be very careful. They can easily backfire as well.
Yeah. Okay, so can you tell me what the future is of Raindance? We'll wrap up here with you. What are your dreams and what are you gonna do? And just tell us what's going on.
Okay, we are vertically integrated. If you want to know how to make a film, we have a film school, we have BA, MA, and so on. We've got branches in Dubai and now Mexico. So you can spend your first year in Dubai, second year in Mexico, third year in London, and get a British Honours BA in filmmaking, which is kind of cool. That's launching this year. But we think the future is building a community where people share with each other hopes, failures, successes, and build a community of independent filmmakers making films, movies that will attract an ever wider audience. I do think, Mike, as I know you do, that people get very fed up with the Hollywood saccharine, sweet flavored movies. And we need independent cinema because that's how we find out how people live and work and play in other parts of the world. And when we do not know how that happens, that's when you get hatred. The hatred towards Arabs and Muslims and racial hatred and so on. And I really think independent cinema is the one thing that could save us from this horrible ecological and political stresses that we are facing today.
Oh, that's right. It's got to be in indie film. And because, like you said, I get so fed up. Well, I don't even watch them anymore. I don't watch any Disney films. I don't watch any Marvel films. It just irritates me.
Well, they're beautifully made, they're well crafted, but at the end of the day, they don't have the same sort of passion as independent filmmakers as yourself have when you make your film because you have a message you really want to get across, and that's so important.
So, Elliot, the last thing is, I mentioned to you before, I'm making a new movie. I'm making a movie about Yoko Ono. And it's going to be a very avant-garde movie, very strange movie. And I've been watching a lot of classic Japanese cinema, weird movies, and I want to integrate that. How can I get my film accepted? I mean, you got to send it into your team. I go to Film Freeway.
Yeah, you go to filmfreeway.com, you Google Raindance, or if you want it to show in Japan, the Japanese Independent Film Festival, sister festival of Raindance, submit your film, and you wait. But when you submit your film, we'll need a trailer, the movie, of course. It's all secure. Any sort of press, any sort of, you see, our festival is different than from many festivals in that we look for off the beaten path. The stuff that's unusual, the stuff, we don't want, it's not a cookie cutter film festival. We're not a festival of other festival films. We're a festival of bold, fresh, and innovative storytelling using cinema. And most of all, it needs to be entertaining, which I'm sure your film will be.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, entertaining can be uncomfortable too. Uncomfortable can be entertaining,
I hope people either love or hate this film.
There we go.
If half the people get up and leave the theater, then I think I've succeeded.
Well, I'm sure they do. Well, Mike, it's such a pleasure speaking to you.
Okay. Anyway, so everyone, thanks so much to Mr. ElliotGrove, the founder of Raindance Film Festival in London. In London, the film festival is going to be October 26th to November 5th. 2022. It's going to be happening. So go to London to check out Raindance. And thank you so much, Elliot. Thank you so much.
Elbow bump? How about an elbow bump?
Yeah, elbow bump. Elbow bump. Okay. So, folks, subscribe or like and listen to the Mike Rogers Show. The link's down here. And thank you so much, ElliotGrove. Mr. ElliotGrove from Raindance and BAFTA, the founder of Raindance. Thank you so much for the interview. And for you viewers out there, don't forget to listen to the Mike Rogers radio show. The links are down here. I play Japanese, indies, punk, and junk. And my show is on like in 19 countries and 56 radio stations. So I've got something for everyone. And for the rest of you, look down here for the links, for links to check out videos and other interesting things. So thank you for tuning into the Mike Rogers Show. See you back here tomorrow. Bye!